Well, it's spoiler time, which it basically always is. And we've got an interesting story. Now, I've been creating content here on YouTube for over 10 years on a variety of YouTube channels, only more recently in a more serious / investigative or reporting way. Reporting, crediting your sources is an important thing to do. It's something that, if it's just an average, you write a school paper or you're not really a full-time content creator or you just create videos sporadically or one-off, you forget to link your sources, it's not like a huge deal. When it's your job to create content, when your entire livelihood comes from creating content, spoiler season, writing blogs, making videos, you should have a higher level of respect for your fellow content creators. It's not something that's taken lightly in the community. Stealing somebody else's content, or at minimum, not crediting them, is not a great thing to do. Now, I don't know if I've been perfect at this in the past, especially when just reporting basic spoilers. So the fact that Saffron Olive forgot to credit another content creator with their spoiler isn't necessarily a big deal. It's a forgivable mistake. You're covering hundreds of spoilers. You can't give credit where credit is due every single time. Now, ideally you would, but I'm not going to hold Saffron Olive to that standard because it's probably one I don't necessarily live up to either all the time. But when you take content from a child and then you double down and you blame them for not getting credited, well, that is a bridge too far. Now, if you remember, Saffron Olive, of course, is the one at the center of the outrage mob for the local game store, A Store of Fire and Dice, getting banned because they had a Kekistani flag in their store. We know internet pearl clutcher Saffron Olive will not stand for a Kekistani flag. He's a joke-free kind of guy. He's a professional. The profige, his friends call him. So when he posts this spoiler of a relatively innocuous card, one of many spoilers he's put out today, not a big deal. Ultra mediocre goblin card, who cares? Interesting, we have a 12 or 13-year-old kid. This was his preview card. Now, when I was young, bushy-tailed, bright-eyed, I used to really want a spoiler. I used to think it was great for your channel. It was an exclusive opportunity to get followers, but it doesn't work that way in reality. It's people like Saffron Olive who rob you of that anyway. People will just screenshot it and copy it and present it as their own. The value in getting a Wizards exclusive spoiler is nil. Nobody's going to say, well, this card was spoiled by so-and-so. Check it out. Check out their channel. Because everyone is out for themselves in the content creation world, for the most part. At least in the petty Magic the Gathering world. I don't necessarily see it as often on my commentary channel, The Quartering. Generally, people will give credit where credit is due and try to look out for each other. But the children in the Magic the Gathering community don't do that. Saffron Olive is probably 30-something years old. No big deal. Interesting. Rhino, MTG YouTuber, a little kid. What did you think of my preview video for the card? Yes, you can layer the mentor triggers. He gets in Saffron. He follows Saffron Olive. This little guy. Been grinding away. He's gotten some interesting press from Wizards. They like to prop up these little kids, and I've always found his content to be a little too it's not for me. That doesn't mean I shouldn't respect him as another creator. You can see, interesting, right? Then people start to notice that Saffron Olive has a habit of not crediting other creators. Again, not a big deal for a normie, but when it's your career to write content, it's particularly egregious. It goes from no big deal to what the fuck? You know what I mean? So he doubles down. Reminder to content people. If you get a preview card, post your video or article to Reddit as soon as you publish it, if you want people to see the source. If you don't, 90% of the time, the Reddit spoiler is just the card image and no one knows where it came from. So he's basically like, well, this is your fault, kid. And if you don't use Reddit, which the overwhelming majority of the Magic community does not, there are several Magic YouTube channels with more active subs than that Reddit sub. If you don't, I'm going to steal your content and not credit you. I'm not going to be bothered to look at whose spoiler this was. Even if you don't want to use Reddit, make an account specifically for your content and use it to post your previews. It's 100% worth it. Well, yeah, when you're threatening me, when you're saying, well, if you don't post it to Reddit, I'm not going to credit you. Well, interesting. Here's Marshall. But what about MTG Goldfish tweets lacking source attributions? Sure enough, we have MTG Goldfish sharing Marshall Sutcliffe spoiler. No credit. This is just lazy. Here we have the kid saying, I can't post for Reddit. I keep getting denied. People saying, I'm the guy who ended up somehow beating everyone else to posting your spoiler, but I straight away made sure to credit you in the first comment. Now, consider having a link. You know, it's nobody wants to use Reddit, Saffron Olive. Nobody appreciates your basically your threat that, well, I'm not going to credit your work. I'm not going to credit your video. I'm not going to credit a fellow content creator unless they post it to Reddit. Oops. The company I work for doesn't follow that same policy either. Now, I don't really care. It's just Saffron. I mean, I care, but Saffron Olive is kind of a douche. He's a pearl clutcher, as most popular MTG content creators are. In this case, you take what is probably a very big deal to some 12 or 13-year-old kid. You steal their thunder you don't need. And then instead of saying, oops, you know what I would have done in this situation? You know what I would have done? I would have said, oh, fuck, sorry. Hey, you know what? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this kid's YouTube channel a shout out. I've got almost 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Here's what I'm going to do to remedy it. Costs me nothing, makes up for it. The kid gets his biggest influx of subscribers ever. By the way, you can check out this kid's YouTube channel if you want. Make the kid's day, but that's not what Saffron Olive did. He doubled down, tripled down, basically blamed him for not posting it on Reddit. This is the Magic the Gathering content creation community, a bunch of douchebags. And to the Rhino, don't sweat it. You weren't going to get any new subscribers because of a official Wizards spoiler anyway. Because people like Saffron Olive, websites like MTG Goldfish, cesspits like the MTG subreddit, are just going to steal it anyway. The idea that towing the line with Wizards of the Coast, which is the only way you can actually get a spoiler these days, is worth it, is absurd. Don't let it bug you. enjoy that you got a spoiler. Enjoy that Wizards sees you as a goodie. Maybe just ask them for a different spoiler. Or maybe squeeze them for some free product. That's what I'd do if I were you. That actually has value. Getting a spoiler is irrelevant. Used to be more important before literally everybody and their mother, including websites like the Mary Sue and Polygon, got spoilers. Now it's just us doing free work for them. Remember that. Getting a spoiler seems like an honor, but really, you're doing free work for them again. You're not going to get any value because no one's going to respect that you're the one that broke the story. You're not going to get any traffic. But Wizards will get their free promotion. So don't even worry about it, kid. Saffron Olive, another pathetic move by a man, baby.